So I was watching this movie that looked like it might be a memoir. And I wasn't sure until we got to the end because it showed the book that the movie was based on. Anyway, this movie was a perfect example of what it means when I say that animism is about living in relationship with life. Hi, I'm Laura Giles with Pan Society. Thanks for tuning in today. I do appreciate your time. Now, it's easy to talk about an idea, but unless you can bring it into your life and manifest it somehow, it's just an idea. If you don't have an example for what it means to live in relationship with life or nature, it could be really hard to do that. So I want to share my experience of watching this movie to help you see what I mean. My impression of the movie is that it was soap opera-ish. And there's two ways to tell a story. One is from the inside out, and the other one's from the outside in. And this one was from the outside in. The viewer could see all the things that were happening, but they were just a list of events. And the characters were kind of flat. And they had personalities. For example, one was a ruthless, mean, selfish, aggressive sex fiend, but you never felt her feelings. You never got a sense of her motivation. She just didn't interact with the world. She just kind of acted on it. And that was odd because everyone else reacted to it. And neither of those things is engagement. It's like living life like you're in a ping pong game. You're either the ball or the person hitting the ball. And the aggressive woman really had no clue what other people felt, and she didn't seem to care. The main character lived his life as if he had no choice. Everything just happened to him. And he was a passenger on the train versus driving the train. Or maybe it was like watching his life virtually versus being a player in the game. And as weird as that seemed, I think a lot of people live their lives that way. If you don't want to be that person and you want to live like a modern animist, engage. Take the time to look at the dew on the grass, to smell the bread baking in the oven, and taste the salt in the ocean air. When someone gives you their time, look into their eyes. Let your whole body notice the impact of their words. If I say, "How are you?" you could respond with "fine," or give me a list of complaints. But you could check in with your body and emotions and give me an answer that's not superficial and automatic. If you do that, we have a greater chance of really connecting and seeing each other and having a meaningful exchange. When we do that, we have a shot at deepening the connection. That's a simple example, but it really does show the skills needed to engage. You have to first know what's going on with you. That's sovereignty. Then you have to be willing to show up and connect. And that's modern animism in a nutshell. So in this movie, the main character didn't show up. He married someone on a rebound, and then was kind of befuddled as to how he got there. Now the woman was the aggressor, but he had a choice. He could have opened his eyes to see that she was not a match for him. He didn't fit into her world, and there were so many things that were just not a great idea. He was living in his emotions. So he didn't get the girl that he wanted. He felt lonely and unloved, and here's somebody who's willing to give him companionship and love him. Only he didn't love her. And he didn't notice because he wasn't engaging with his whole self. His water or emotion said, "Ooh, this feels good to be loved." But his fire or passion was not ignited. His intellect or air wasn't consulted, or he would have seen all the times in his life when he said that he hated her lifestyle. His earth was happy because she was rich and she gave him stability. If you look at it that way, you can see that it's not a match. I always say that you can find the answers that you need by looking at nature or the wheel of life. Live holistically. This is what I mean. So another thing he did was that he wasn't self-supporting. He was a writer, and he had a hit book early on, but from then on he relied on his mother, his friends propping him up with jobs, and just waited for things to come to him. When he was literally eating dog food to survive, he never said, "Could this be because I'm not engaging or trying?" He had a college degree. It wasn't like he had no skills. He had a great resume. He just didn't ask enough from life and didn't give enough. He didn't pay enough attention to all that life has to offer. And it was like he went through it with blinders on. So I'm saying this both to help anyone listening who might be doing the same thing to get a wake-up call. We have one shot at this life. We can live it, or we can be a bystander in it. It's really up to us. Even if life seems to suck right now, you can play that hand and see where it takes you. It's not always good. It's not always bad either. And if you engage, it will change. So I'm also saying this for those of you who are interested in cultivating a modern animism lifestyle. It starts small. It starts with just noticing what you're saying, how you're saying it, and being present in your own body, being present with your feelings. It takes time to notice how the colors in the morning sky changes as the sun rises. Notice how your body feels when you wake up or when you put different foods into it. If we paid attention to how food makes us feel, we'd all eat a lot less junk. Simple things like that. You don't have to go live in a teepee and speak to your ancestors every day to be a modern animist. It really does start with just being present in your everyday life. I'd love to hear how you do that. What little things are you doing to just be here and connect? What challenges do you have? Share so that we can all learn and grow together. Thanks for tuning in. Ciao.